Marvin, for opening up tonight. Thank you, Tara, for joining us tonight. You and Tristan, if Tristan's with you. We give God honor. We give him glory. We thank him for this moment right now. We know that God has a word for us, as always. Every time we zoom in or log on to M.A.R.S Worship Life Center, you're not logging in to Marvin and Zohnia, you're logging into the anointing, the message from heaven, what God is speaking to us. And I give him honor and glory, and I take it not for granted that his love, his humility, his grace, his power continues to cover us all the days of our lives. So last week we talked about the word measure, and tonight that was a word that God had given Marvin last week. And I prayed about it. I took the word and I went with it, and we taught on it. We were talking about the measure of grace, the measure of God's of faith that we have. We talked about measure, and this week the Lord put it in my spirit to talk about the word weight. And as you can see in my profile picture, we have weight, and like a weight that you lift, and then to wait. And also in the chat, if you just came on, let me copy it so you can see what we had for the profile for M.A.R.S Worship Life Center. It is the wait while you wait. The wait while you wait. I believe that's what it says. So tonight we want to talk about that briefly. We want to talk about we talked about measure last week. Tonight we're talking about wait. And thank you, Marvin, for praying. I'm going to come out of the book of Isaiah 40 and 31 tonight. Isaiah 40 and 31. And I'm just going to share something briefly with each and every one of you about the weight and the weight of the two words tonight, you know, because we have, I think they're called synonyms, two words that sound the same but are spelled different and have a different meaning. So you can have words like the sun, S-U-N, and then son, S-O-N. So tonight and you can have the word like peace, and P-E-A-C-E, and then the word peace, P-I-E-C-E. So the English language, they say, is the hardest language to learn because so many words sound the same but are spelled different, or it sounds a certain way, like it should be spelled a certain way, you know. So again, tonight we're talking about weight and weight. And we're coming out of Isaiah 40 and 31. And I'm going to read the King James Version tonight and share these nuggets with each and every one of you. So Isaiah 40 and 31, but they that wait, W-A-I-T, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. They that wait upon the Lord. When is the last time that you have truly really waited on God? I'm talking about waited for his response, waited for his answer, waited for his miraculous power to come in and blow your mind. When have you actually, the last time you really waited on God? And when have you experienced, as of late, when waiting upon him, that you have found a renewed strength, not within your own might, not within your own doing, but within the power of God? It says, they shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. And that's because why? They're waiting upon the Lord. When you have a weight, W-E-I-G-H-T, on you, I think it would be hard to fly. It would be hard to run, and it would be hard to even walk sometimes. But the weight that we're talking about tonight, the waiting upon God, waiting upon the results of God, to not be impatient, to try to hurry God along, to wait upon him. There's a waiting on God. And then we're going to come out of Romans 6 and 23. And again, I'm sharing some Bible scriptures with you tonight about waiting. Wait and wait. It says, for the wages of sin is death, but the free gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord. The weight of sin is death. The W-E-I-G-H-T, the wages, the weight of sin is death. The weight of sin is death, but the free gift of God is eternal life. Now let's look at these two scriptures. It said, but they that wait, W-A-I-T, upon the Lord, great things seem to happen when you wait on the Lord. It says that you'll be able to fly, like you will mount up with wings like eagles. You'll run and you will not be weary. You will walk and you will not faint. That's the kind of wait I'm talking about. When you wait on God, the W-A-I-T wait. It says so in Isaiah 40 and 31. But in Romans 6 and 23, it says the wages of sin is death. So the weight of sin, W-E-I-G-H-T, is sin. So if we could just break this down, and we had to break it down to a basic understanding, to an elementary understanding, we already know that salvation brings life and sin means death. But when it talks about the scriptures about weight, a heavy weight that's upon you, it equals death because it's sin. Sin equals death. Proverbs 27 and 3. It says, a stone is heavy and sand is weighty, W-E-I-G-H-T-Y, but a fool's provocation is heavier than both. And that means the action of his speech that makes someone annoyed or angry. So a foolish speech is heavier than both heavy sand or a stone. So tonight we're talking about weight. Basically tonight, God wants us to be clear on what we're waiting on and why we allow certain things to weigh us down. It says in the scripture tonight, when we wait upon him, there's great rewards that come when you wait upon the Lord. When you allow weighty things of the world, their daily activities, just sinful things and sinful nature, it can weigh you down. It said God isn't slow in fulfilling his promises. And I thank God that he is not slow for fulfilling his promises in my life. Yes, the weight of the weight can be heavy. I'm going to say that again. The weight of the weight can be heavy, but God never intended for us to carry the burden. When you look around and see all that God has done for you, everything that you have been waiting so long to see and experience it, it will be worth it. So the weight that we have been waiting, there's some things that we've been waiting on, and it has presented some type of weightiness on us. In other words, we're waiting, W-A-I-T, for that promotion. We're waiting for that new whatever God has for us. But through the process of waiting, there's other things that can come. We'll say anxiety, pressure, sinful thoughts that can weigh, W-E-I-G-H-T, us down. But God is wanting us to tell you tonight, God is wanting me to tell you tonight that to wait upon him. Make sure you have the right weight. Make sure you're carrying, allowing the glory of him to carry the weight for you. So our waiting turns to waiting when we refuse to give our burden to God and accept his provision, patience, and peace. So when we are waiting on him and he's not moving fast enough for us, or we're not feeling like we're getting what we need when we want it from him, there's things that can take place that will cause the weight of it to weigh us down. Weigh us down with being tired all the time. Our attitudes could not be as pleasant because we're being weighed down with the wrong thing and not being weighed down with the glory of God. Faithful waiting on God makes us stronger, not weaker. I'm going to say that again. Think about the times that you have prayed and asked God for something and you waited for it. And even though you may have gone through some changes, you may have gone through some spiritual changes or some spiritual growth spurts, it still at the end made you stronger. It made you greater. It made you see things differently. And can I tell you that sometimes the very thing that God has us growing through, waiting through, once we come out of it, somehow or another, there will come an opportunity for us to have to minister to people in that same area that we had to wait in, the same area that we were feeling weighty in. And I think it comes around full circle because we already know the things that we go through is not for us, it's for others. So faithful waiting on God makes us stronger, not weaker. Waiting is also a sign of humility. Waiting is a sign of humility. To wait on God is a sign of humility. Spiritual transformation doesn't take place when we get what we want. Spiritual transformation doesn't take place when we get what we want. It takes place while we're waiting. See, it's in the waiting process. There's a blessing in the waiting process. There's a blessing in waiting on God. There's a blessing. There's a process and a promise that can come out of the wait. It is forged in us while we're waiting, hoping and trusting, even though we have yet to receive what we long for. Spiritual transformation happens in the waiting room. Spiritual transformation takes place in the waiting room. You know, people have prayer rooms or war rooms. Sometimes we got to get to a place to where we're in a waiting room, where we're waiting on God, and we just sit in his presence. And we wait for him to speak to us. We wait for him to direct us. We wait for instructions from God instead of always talking and talking. Is sometimes we need to listen. It's that waiting process to hear from God. The spiritual wait is the reason. The spiritual wait from God is this reason here. That's the reason you cannot be robbed, bewitched, or touched by those who seek to destroy you. I'm going to say that again. The spiritual weight is the reason you cannot be robbed, bewitched, or touched by those who seek to destroy you. God called you to be dynamite. He wants you to explode with his glory, with his power, with his anointing, with his knowledge of him, with leading others to salvation. So the weight, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. But there's a spiritual weight that allows us to transform. There's a spiritual way that causes us to grow. It's a spiritual way that causes us to be renewed. So that's the weight we're talking about tonight. The weight of God's glory, not the weight of these things of this world that would bog us down. The weight of our physical weight, our physical weight. A lot of times physical weight that we may be carrying, it could be, is also could be attached to something spiritual as well. So it's the weight of his glory. Allow his weight to rest upon you. So again, we're talking about waiting on God. And even though you can wait on him, things can come to you that can cause you to be weighty, to be heavy. And I rebuke that spirit tonight of being tired of while you're waiting through the process of what God is taking you through. Some of us, we have been dealing with some things in our lives that would cause us to get tired of waiting, getting tired of waiting for someone to show up or waiting for change to happen in order for us to get some results within ourselves, waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. But they that wait upon the Lord, sometimes we can move too fast because we're tired of waiting. There's a blessing in waiting. There's a growth in waiting. The WAITING, waiting. And then the weight of the Lord, the spiritual weight, the glory that you want to carry, that he wants you to carry. So again, tonight we're talking about to wait on God, and then also things that can be weighty in your life. So I'm going to let Marvin chime in now, because again, we're talking about that. And I love the song that you played tonight, Marvin, Yeshua, because it does mean he is my he rescues me. He's my deliverer. He's my savior. When God is all those things to you, there's a level of order that God will give you, that when it comes to the weight, that you won't get the weights mixed up. You won't allow the waiting process that he has you in to weigh you down, because you have an understanding of what weight he's wanting you to carry. He wants the glory of his weight, the spiritual glory of his weight, to carry you through this next phase in your life, the next elevation in your life, the next promotion in your life. So again, that's the word for tonight. Last week we talked about measure. Tonight we are talking about the weight of God's glory and waiting upon him so that you can be renewed. God wants to renew you in areas. God, not only because we're in a new year, God can renew you even before we go into a new year, even before 365 days. He wants to renew you right now. There's some renewing that's taking place in our lives. He's renewing the way you think about things. He's renewing the way you speak about things. He's renewing the way that you handle things. There's a renewing. You can't do things the same way when something new comes in place. When you're being renewed, not redoing, but renewing. Don't keep redoing the same thing and then becoming weighty because you're not moving forward. God is wanting to transform you and to renew you tonight, to renew you out of that situation, to renew you into a situation. Amen. So again, renewing and the waiting on God, that is key in this season of our lives, to wait on him and not become distracted during the wait. Don't become weary and tired during the wait, because I'm telling you, it is all going to be worth it at the end, after you get on the other side of it, the other side of the blessing, the other side of this test, the other side of whatever it is that God has you going through, the process of it all. So again, we're talking about the weight and waiting on God. So Marvin, I'm going to let you go ahead and come on if you have anything that you would like to say.
Yeah, I also was, and thank you for that, by the way. I was also looking at Isaiah 40, but what I was looking at, and also Psalm 27. In Psalm 27, verse number 10, it says, even if my father and mother abandon me, the Lord will take care of me. Teach me your way, O Lord, lead me on a level path. Because I have enemies who spy on me, do not surrender me to the will of my opponents. False witnesses have risen against me. They breathe out violence. I believe that I will see the goodness of the Lord in this world of the living. Wait with hope for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart be courageous. Yes, wait with hope for the Lord. So there is as Z was talking about, she said, the English language is one of the hardest languages to learn because so many words mean the same thing. You have two and two, you have four and four, you have blue and blue. Think about it. You got the color blue, and then you got like when you actually are blowing, like you blew something, past tense. And then you got wait and wait. And then she said, each word sounds the same, but the definition of these words are different. And in the difference of these words, it can mean what you put on your life. So the word weight, meaning spelled W-E-I-G-H-T, the most common definition of the weight found in the introductory physics textbooks defines weight as the force exerted on the body by gravity. That means something is actually pushing down on your body in the form of weight pushing you down with gravity, that weight. And then the other weight, the way it's described in the Bible, what it means by the Bible in the word wait, W-A-I-T, means the word wait means to hope, to anticipate, to trust, to hope and trust in the Lord requires faith, patience, humility, meekness, long suffering, and keeping the commandments and enduring to the end. To wait upon the Lord means planting the seed of faith and nourishing it. So in Psalms 27 and 10, this is when David was always going into battle and his enemies were after him. Not only his enemies in battle in the different countries he was going after, but also Saul, who was after him as well. Um, the the enemy was always after him. So David was constantly praying to the Lord, hey, Lord, take care of me. Make sure my enemies don't wrap their arms around me. Make sure my opponents don't have their will over me. There was a long suffering that David went through. And in his long suffering, during this long suffering period of time that David went through, remember, he was the king that was anointed by God. God sent the prophet to anoint him. He was God's chosen. But although he was God's chosen, he had some long suffering he had to go through. He had some meekness, some humility he had to deal with, knowing that he's the king, he's the one that was chosen, but yet God is sending him through all these different levels of waiting on him, W-A-I-T. But in the middle of his W-A-I-T waiting, he also had the weight, the physical weight, the crushing weight, the abandonment weight of his enemy, his friends that was also coming after him. Remember in Ziklag, when the enemy came and took his all the goods and all the wives and women and everything, and his own friends, his men were ready to go after him, ready to kill David. And David said, let me ask the Lord what we should do. And the Lord said, pursue. And when he pursued in Ziklag, he went after, and God said, you will not lose anything. So he recovered everything, and not one thing was lost. So the weight of the enemy and the weight of his friends was upon him. Even though David was waiting on God, and God was just telling him, my grace, what I told you, what I'm going to do for you, it's more secure than the weight of your enemies that's against you. Now let's jump over to back to where Zohnia has started reading in Isaiah 40. Now I'm going to back up to verse 28. In Isaiah 40:28, it says, "Don't you know?" Now these are questions that the prophet is asking. "Don't you know? Haven't you heard? The eternal God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, doesn't grow tired or become weary. His understanding is beyond reach." 29 says, "He gives strength to those who grow tired and increases the strength of those who are weak. Even young people grow tired and become weary, and young men will stumble and fall." Last one. "Yet the strength of those who wait with hope in the Lord will be renewed. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and won't become weary. They will walk and won't grow tired." So in your tiredness, because the Bible says even young people grow tired and become weary. But when God's weight that he's putting upon you, W-A-I-T, when he takes that weight and put upon you and remove the other weight, W-E-I-G-H-T, he gives you that opportunity to spread your wings and soar like eagles. Now, have you ever really researched an eagle to find out the wingspan of an eagle? The wingspan of an eagle can start at 5.9 feet and can stretch out as far as 7.9, almost 8 feet across. Now, let's put this into consideration. Some of the tallest people in the world in this day and time have been recorded to be about 8 feet 1, 7 feet 9, 7 feet 10. You know, they had giants back in the day that reached as high and as tall as 9 to 10 feet tall, if not taller. Now, basketball goals are regulation height of 10 feet. Eagle's wingspan is 2 feet shorter than the regulation height of a basketball goal. So the strength of an eagle's wings that stretches out 8 feet is what the Lord said that you will be upon and you will be able to soar. The strength of an eagle's wings carries the body of an eagle many miles. And as the wingspan of that eagle is stretching out, it's able to soar and glide. It's able to stay in the air for a long period of time. And not only that, while it's soaring, while it's gliding, while the strength and the wingspan of those of the eagle's wings are stretching out that distance and that length, it's soaring above the enemy. And while it's soaring above the enemy cannot attack what it cannot reach and what it cannot sometimes see, or what it cannot able to grab a hold of. So therefore, while you are soaring like an eagle, the strength of the Lord is upon you. And not only that, as the strength of the Lord is upon you while you're soaring, you are looking down at your enemy. So now as you are soaring above your enemy, you now have the advantage and the tactic to be able to destroy and attack your enemy from above. That's the strength of when you wait, when you don't allow the other weight, the heavy gravitational weight to be upon you. But when the Lord anoints you with his waiting, meaning again, he said, "Yet the strength of those who wait with hope in the Lord will be renewed." So as you're waiting with hope from the Lord, you are being renewed and strengthened, and you've been given, you've been assured by the Lord that as you're waiting, you're mounting up. That means he's setting you up for success. He's preparing you to spread your wings, and then he's showing you and preparing you to take off and fly and be in flight. So as he's preparing you, again, by yet the strength of those who wait with hope in the Lord will be renewed. They will soar just the same way that scientists and all these guys at NASA prepare these ships to fly into space, they are prepping the space shuttle. That means they're setting the shuttle up for success to soar, to penetrate the atmosphere. So the same way God is setting you up to penetrate and to soar, so that the weight of this gravitational pull will no longer be on you. Although, yes, there's a certain exertion and thrust and power that is going to take to push that space shuttle into the air. That's weight that's pushing against it. But the weight of the Lord is propelling you. So the thrust that are on the side of this spaceship is thrusting and propelling it past and through the gravitational pull into space. So now when it hits space, it's floating. With God, he does the same thing. He propels you and he pushes you. So now you have no more gravitational weight. Although you feel it pushing down on you, you're still pushing through that gravitational pull. And then next thing you know, you're soaring. Your wingspan has strengthened you, and your wingspan is strong enough to allow you to soar. So yes, you had patience. Yes, you had faith. Yes, you had humility. Yes, you had meekness. Yes, you went through a lot of long suffering. Yes, at some point in time, and even now you still feel like you may have some weight on you and feel like you're being crushed from all angles, and it feels like you can't catch a break in it. And you feel like, man, you know what? Whenever I touch something, it seems to me like it's breaking, and it feels like it's not going in my favor, or being, going in the direction I want it to go in. But the main key ingredient is this. Remember what verse 31 says. Yet the strength of those who wait, W-A-I-T, yet the strength of those who wait with hope in the Lord will be renewed. So if you're waiting in hope, if you're waiting in anticipation because you know it's your turn is here, your turn is coming, you're just waiting for the Lord to outfit you so that he can prep and prepare you to soar. That preparational period, that waiting to be fitted so that you have on the proper gear, is that anticipating moment, or anticipation, or nervousness moment, or like you antsy, like, man, it's almost in the grasp, in the reach, or in the palm of my hand and my fingertips, and it's right there. And now you're getting so antsy because you can see it, you can feel it, you know it's there, but you're just waiting on your turn to be outfitted. So let me use another example. In the Air Force, they have, the latest technology as far as fighter jets, and it's the F-35 fighter jet. And so what happens is this. Now the technology has changed. So the technology has changed so much. Not only do they have, in the older models, they have like a HUD, a head-up display, where they can see everything, everything that's going on. They lock their missiles in on this head-up display called a HUD, is what they call it. And they see all the instrument panels, everything is going on, how they key in, how they lock in. They see their altimeter, they see their bearings, they see everything in this HUD. But now with this latest technology that they now have those on the helmets that the pilots put on. And these helmets cost a lot of money. They cost $400,000. So with these helmets now, you can actually see through the plane. You can see a 360-degree turn of your head. So you can basically see all the way around this plane. That's how technology has improved with the latest helmets. But with these helmets, they have to be fitted precisely to the head of the pilot, so that when the pilot puts the helmet on their head, the helmet doesn't wiggle. It fits tightly and snug against that pilot's face. So that when they operate this plane, There is no inaccuracies. There is nothing that's in the peripheral vision of these pilots' helmets. So when they maneuver these planes, so whichever way their head turns, that's the way the HUD now shows in their visors when they turn in their heads left and right with these helmets. So the head-up display of the HUD from the old aircraft is no longer there. It's actually in the helmet. So what I'm saying is this: as the pilots are waiting and anticipating that the instructor or those that are the gear guys that are there to fit their helmets snug to their head, in anticipation, knowing that once they get that final piece of gear, now they are complete and they can fly this aircraft with precision. Same thing with you. Now you're anticipating and waiting for God to outfit you and get you prepared so that now you can begin to soar, and no longer are you going to be weighted down anymore, but now the weight is beneath you. The W-E-I-G-H-T is beneath you, and the weight, the W-A-I-T, is upon you now, because now you're soaring. You are above all things. God says you are above only and not beneath. That's how he sees you. That's what he spoke about you. That's what he spoke on you. You are above and not beneath. That's how the Lord looks at you. That's what the Lord thinks of you. That's how he sees his children. That's how he sees those whom he says, yet the strength of those who wait with hope in the Lord will be renewed. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and they won't be weary. They will walk and they won't grow tired. So now you won't be tired anymore. You won't be weary. You won't stumble and fall. You won't. You will not see things that are in your way and then turn around and go back the opposite way because you don't want to deal with it anymore. That's not what the strength of the Lord does for you. The strength of the Lord gives you those skills, those analyzing skills to know every depth of what's in front of you, how to analyze it, how to tackle it, how to handle it. That's what the strength of the Lord does. It removes the weightiness out of your life. It removes that gravitational pull, and it throws it out of the way, and it gives you the W-A-I-T, the weight that is so constant, so reassuring, knowing that then once you are reassured by the W-A-I-T, I now will have that wingspan of an eagle, and I can soar above all things. And I can stay in flight for a long time. And know that when I do come down for rest, for a resting period and for a resting moment, nothing will attack me, because when I spread my wings, the wingspan of an eagle is also its defense. It wards up. I have yet to read or see anything else that attacks an eagle in flight. I've yet to read or see anything that attacks an eagle when it's perching on a branch. So that's the strength that God provides for you when you become that eagle and begin to soar. And even when you're on the ground in that resting period, you still have no weight that is on you, because he's removed that weight. Why? Because you're no longer tired. You're no longer weary. You're not stumbling. You're not falling. You're not upset. You're not frustrated. You don't care about the words that were spoken to you. You don't care about the generational curse that may have followed your family. No, you've broken those things. You've destroyed those things. Those things no longer are attached to you. You are an eagle. You are soaring. He is your guide. What is it? What did it say in Psalm 27:14? Wait with hope for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart be courageous. Yes, wait with hope for the Lord. An eagle is very courageous because an eagle fears nothing. An eagle goes after sometimes the most deadliest venomous snake. It attacks from above and doesn't care what's on the ground when it attacks. It has a target in mind. So with strength and with hope, soar with the wingspan of an eagle. uh